Hi. We are focusing on workflow techniques and specifically on presets and browser library configuration. We did that in a previous session with Ableton Live, and now we will do those in Pro Tools in this session. So let's get going with Pro Tools and see how it is kind of configured for this type of workflow techniques. Okay, so let's take a closer look in Pro Tools presets and library functions. In Pro Tools basically, and of course it differs from the Ableton Live where you had a browser from where you can browse everything from a single place, which makes it great from a user perspective. Pro Tools is of course a bit different. So in Pro Tools, first of all, you can access the library and search everything in it from inserts. So being those instruments or effects. And of course you can search everything from here and basically find the things that you are looking for. Or then you can go through a menu structure and see what's available in your library. You have few ways of navigating here. Like you have what we have currently here is based on the certain categories, but then I think in my eyes at least the more convenient way of this is to go with the manufacturers, because I know that if I'm looking for a FabFilter plugin or something else, I should actually change this to organize plugin menus by manufacturer. So then it is easier to find the ones that you are looking for, because you know that, okay, I need to use from a FabFilter or I need to use something from the Universal Audio or so on and so forth. So this is actually good to be changed to manufacturer. So then at least for me it is more meaningful to find things more easily. And here now when I go, I can see that I have all the manufacturers listed. So if I need to go to a FabFilter and Pro Q3, I can easily pull that into. It makes things, at least for me, more meaningful. But this is a taste thingy. So everyone is different, and you might use it other way around. When it comes to different presets, you have actually two things in Pro Tools that you can work with. You have plugin related presets, and then you have track presets. Track presets are quite handy in order to store things regarding on track specific, and also the thing is that then you can create those in a library, and I'll give you an example on both. So let's create an instrument track to see that how those two things differ. So I created an empty instrument track, and now when I search, for example, contact, and I insert that into my instrument track. And here we have, so now I have an empty canvas in contact, and I could basically go and browse and load an instrument that I use. But I could also do it through presets that I can more quickly to get something into use, so that instead of browsing I could just select it from the presets. So let's do an example on that one, and so you see that difference. So I'll just pull out an analog string as we did in previous session as well. So now I have it here. And if I would like to now create a presets on this one, I could go, no, come on, sorry. I could, I'll just pull it again. So if I would like to now save this setting, so I could basically then go and save this preset. And I of course name it analog strings. So now I have that preset saved over here, and you can see that it changed over here. So I could similarly I could go another instrument like Alicia's keys and have the piano ready, and then also like save this setting as is. So gosh, I should have saved as. This is also a bit annoying. So now it saved it as an Alicia's keys as, but then analog string also got saved to that. So I need to kind of refresh that setting and do a save on that one. So let's go and save settings. So now I have two different presets, and I can go between these two that I have defined, and that's all fine. But then when you start to have a lot of these, so you also would like to basically maybe then create folders or something like that. So it makes things a lot more easier. And you are now in the root settings, and then of course I can now switch between of the two of these presets. And everything is basically fine, and it makes things a bit more quicker. However, I could also do so that when I have it here like analog strings, I could go into here and then basically save this as a track preset, and then it will give me a different option to save things regarding as a track preset, and also I can place it. I can add a category into which I'm saving it, and I could also say that I would like to save it somewhere else, so I can work easily the categories from here. So I'll just cancel this, and I'll go to a different view, and that's within the workspace. And workspace is basically there you could have a sound base and track presets. So let's go into track presets, and I have an empty canvas here. I haven't done any presets for Pro Tools yet, because I mainly use Ableton Live, but as is, I could create now a folder for myself and for my presets, and then I could go into that folder and create another folder like those if I just want to store the different output instruments and related track presets over here. So I would say that this is like output as the manufacturer. And now I could save those track presets in here. So let's do that, and so you see what I mean. So now I go and save track presets, and I need to go a category and output, and then I name this as a analog strings. And now I have track preset saved. I could also then go here and change this to another instrument from output, which is analog brass and winds. And sorry, I'll just go and take that one. Yay. So yeah, and now I could go and save this as a another preset. So let's go and save track preset. It remembers luckily on the category where I want to place it. So analog brass and winds, and I save it now. So now I have two different track presets saved. and when I go back to the window to browse the track presets, now I see that okay, I have an output and I have 2 different track presets there. This, in my eyes, is kind of a convenient way of doing this, in the sense that you can easily then recall these track presets when you are creating a new track, and I will show that after this one. But then also the thing is that when you have them here, you can easily search them. So basically, of course, now it will give me all the strings, but then also you could easily navigate into track presets and find them from here. Anyway, so let's go back. And then now basically searching these track presets, I can go and more easily find them from the menu structure and search them over here. However, what I mean with recalling these presets, then being more convenient. So let's delete this one, and let's create an instrument track from the scratch. Anyway, when I go into new track, and I want to actually go from here to track presets and then to output, and now I have the things that are stored underneath that. So I have the brass and I have the strings, so I can create a new track using these track presets, and that makes it also quite convenient. So now I have automatically the track with the brass and winds, as I did recall that. Or then if I go and create another track, go into the track presets output, and instead of brass and winds, I take the analog strings. So now I have that over here. So this makes a life a bit easier to recall things within Pro Tools and working with your library regarding on instruments. When it comes to plugins and effects, we already discussed about changing the view based on manufacturer and not categories. So it's easier to remember that, okay, I need for example, I need the Moog filter to be inserted here. And then basically now I know that it's easier for me to recall the effects based and inserts based on the manufacturer instead of like going into categories. However, you can't really kind of much influence on anything else than that in here. So this is pretty much the abilities that you can do and have in Pro Tools. However, what I have done is that I have actually created a certain set of macros in Metagrid. So let's take a look on those as a sneak peek, and I will do an own session on this one, how to use Metagrid to improve your workflow in Pro Tools. But let's bring in the iPad into view as well, and as you can see that you can easily create these type of templates and to your different digital audio workstations. In this case, I created this for Pro Tools, so that, for example, I can easily call and create a new instrument track, an empty one, and then I could do some edits regarding on it. And but one thing that is related to effects is actually pretty neat what I was able to establish. And if you select a track, like for example the one that we have a contact in it with analog strings, and now if you would like to add a insert into section or area like B, insert B. So I press a B in iPad, and it basically then opens with the macro a search window. Then now if I press Pro Q, it goes and searches Pro Q and then enters it into that slot. If I would like to place something else, like for example a plate into slot C, then I press C in iPad and then, for example, pure plate to get it recalled into that position. I could also go into the position J and then say that, okay, for there I would like to have maybe a spiff, and then it recalls it into there. So this actually makes things a bit more easy, and I'll do an own session on this, that how you can program Metagrid and these macros so that you can do this kind of insert calls and make your workflow a bit more faster. But this will be its own session, and I will dive into that later. Anyway, that's pretty much it what you can do in Pro Tools when it comes to library and presets. So we looked to two different type of presets. We looked the instrument related presets and that you can basically save over here and recall from the instrument. And then we discussed about track presets that you can basically save and recall when creating a track, or then simply also you could just go over here and drag and drop this into your edit window. So that's basically those are the ways that you can work with inserts and instruments in Pro Tools. So that was Pro Tools. And now we have seen how to configure presets and use library in Pro Tools. And next we will do that in Logic Pro X. So remember to subscribe for the channel for more content. Thanks for watching. Bye now.